Hi, welcome to Crafty Little Things. I'm Andrea and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these cute little desk calendar tidy things. The idea of the next seven blog posts and videos, which go hand in hand and are going to be released every day from now for the next 7 days, is to give some ideas for things to make for craft fairs. There's lots of craft fairs coming up right now, and for little teacher gifts and things like that. We're kind of in the crafting world hung up on Christmas at the minute, and we sometimes forget that at Christmas you don't always buy Christmas themed things for people for Christmas presents. So Christmas presents are sometimes for the whole of the year or for life even. So I've gone away from Christmas themed things and come up with some ideas for things that could be gifted for Christmas. These are great for craft fairs because they just look so cute, and you know, when you're at a craft fair or a Christmas fair at your school, or you're doing a charity event, things that look nice that people just want to pick up and take away. These fit in an envelope as well, or a card bag, so they can be sort of sealed in one of those. Are really popular, and these are not just, they don't just look nice, they're useful. I mean, I've had this one standing on my desk since I made it, and people always comment when they come in about how cute it is, and it's such a simple project that I can throw it over there. So I'm going to show you, and the other thing about these projects as well, these 7 projects, is most of them use up what we would consider to be scraps, so offcuts and things we've got left over. So they're also great sort of scrap stash busters. Right, now you can vary this however you want. It is so simple to make. It's basically a piece of cardstock that's bent in half, and then a little anchor stuck in at the bottom. But the one I'm going to show you hasn't even got that added. That's going to be an integral part of the one I'm going to make today. And a piece of DSP, a sentiment, and that's it. So if you use a little motivational sentiment or something that means something to somebody that you're giving it to, that's better. You can think about people you know, if you're gifting them, what coloured decor their office is. Lots of people nowadays have home offices, and these are perfect for that. I mean, personally, there's one I've made to show you, and well, 2 in fact that I've made as demonstrations, and one of them I'm going to keep next to my bed, and the other one I'm going to keep in my kitchen. So they're not even just for an office. So just, I mean, all the details of these will be in the blog post that goes with it. So, but this is Tranquil Tide, and that's the eclectic DSP I've used there. These are the little gold library clips that are fantastic in the current catalogue for Stampin' Up. And then I made this one, which was a bigger version, and all you do is just double the width. And this one's got a little photo frame in it. Same idea, a little notepad. This one hasn't got a wallet on the back. Oh yeah, these have got wallets on the back as well, so you can pop like scraps in or business cards. And then this one, this one was made sort of with the crafter in mind. So this is using the Pick a Pattern DSP, and this is all in Sweet Sugar Plum. And this one is using the Fresh Florals and Powder Pink. And I've just made a little post-it note thing. If you can buy them in all sizes, but if you can't buy one, I should have bought a pastel one really. I never bought this, I already had it. But if you've only got big ones, you can cut them down, just use a guillotine and chop them. This one's got a pen holder, so it's slightly bigger than the other one that had a pencil holder. If you were going to make this a really nice gift, you could buy a really nice pen to go with it. And it's got a little picture of my 2 favourite boys in. And yeah, this one's got a little square sentiment. So you can change them up. I mean, like I say, I could add a wallet on the back, I could add bows, I could add ribbons, whatever. So the next one that I'm going to actually make right now is going to be a more simple design like this, and it's just going to be in one piece, so you're not even having to stick on that extra piece at the bottom. And it's going to be a bit shorter, and it's the reason it's going to be in one piece, and the reason it's going to be a bit shorter is because I'm just using up, as I said, some scraps really, some leftovers. So I had this strip of DSP of oh, is it Daffodil? Yeah, Daffodil Delight. Sorry, Daffodil Delight cardstock, which measures 11.5 inches. And I had a scrap of Daisy Delight, or Delightful Daisy, whatever the Daisy DSP is called. And that was just measuring at 4 3/4 and 3 3/4. So I thought, oh, that'll fit perfectly on there. I was sorting out my scraps actually, because I was getting rid of all my Halloween scraps, and I just popped them on a pile, and I thought, oh, that fits there. I could make a card out of that, or I could make something out of that. You could easily have made a card out of that, but I thought, oh no, I'll make another one of my little calendar holders and do a demonstration. So then I had a piece of this I'd cut out to use the outside to make a frame. So that was a piece of scrap I had. Where my big shot is, I have a little box, and that I put all my like cut out pieces that I'm not going to use, on my offcuts, and I even put the things I have cut out to use as stencils and things. And so when I go, and I also have little scraps of paper that are big enough to cut things out of, so when I go there to where my big shot and my dies and all that is, I've got like a little station there. I've got everything I need to hand. I've got little bits and bobs that I can use without cutting into new sheets. So a little tip for you there. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to just put one of these little calendars on. I'm just going to pinch one from one of the other ones for now. I'm not going to print another one off. But yeah, these are printed from craftedcharm.blogspot.co.uk. She has a free downloadable there. That's a little bit, it's going to be a little bit too short. Now what you can do, you can use the gold clip like I have, or you can just glue these together with a little bit of Tombow, and they will tear off. They do tear off. If you're worried that they're not going to tear off, you could cut them a bit longer. One thing I love about this printable is that the cut lines of the cutting guides are really good, so you can leave them with the longer header like that, or you can cut them shorter like that, or you can cut them wider. And it's a really good downloadable, and it's free. So you could just put them together. You could make a little wrap for them, and in fact I do have a little piece of, I might actually make a wrap and stick this one on. Mind you, I've made it too short now because you won't be able to see the top, but yeah, I'll do what I did with the others, and I'll just use the clip. Okay, so then I'm hoping this is all going to fit on now. So what we're going to do is, this is 11.5, as I said, by 4. So for this one I'm going to just fold it up a little bit. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, whoops, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to score at 1.5 inches. Oh goodness, that's awful. So now I've got 10 inches left, so I'm going to score at, that's 1.5 inches, isn't it? Yeah, so I've got 10 inches left, so I'm going to score at 6.5, and that should give me my midpoint. Okay, so 1/2, 1.5 and 6.5. No other scoring required, unless you want to make a little wallet for the back or whatever. But I'm making this as simple as possible. So then all I do is fold and burnish, and then fold and burnish. Now you could have added another score line at 1 inch so that you had a little mountain in there, but you don't need one. I'm just going to put some Tombow on here, or some tape, and glue it, and that's it. That will be sturdy enough. But before I do that, I'm just going to get some Tombow, and I'm just going to stick. I am going to use the other side. I like the other side. I like both sides, but get some Tombow and just stick that on. These are really quick and easy projects for craft fairs. I mean, if you make this, if you were to make this sort of 11 or 12, depending on your paper, if you use A4, you could get 2 out of a sheet of A4. If you made it by 12 by 4, you could get 3 out of a sheet of 12 by 12, which is quite, you know, quite good. I'm just going to use, I've already got my stamp. I'm just going to use Night of Navy here, and I'm just going to stamp onto this scrap of Whisper White that I cut out. I'm using the, do you know, I use this constantly, and yeah, the Just Add Text. I'm using the Just Add Text. I've not really got that in the right place, but never mind. We're not gonna split hairs. Obviously, if I was given this, using this on a craft fair, I'd want it to be perfect. The thing about craft fairs as well, and using up your leftovers, your offcuts, is that if everything on your craft stall is exactly the same, and I've seen people do this, people don't browse as much. But if you make things different, so if for instance these were all on the craft stall, they're all different. This one's going to be different again, different colours, people have different decor, people have different, you know, like flowers, like different colours, whatever, like different sentiments. You're more likely, and I know this is true because I've done it myself, you're more likely to sell more stuff than if I just had a stall full of these, or, you know, obviously you wouldn't have a stall full of these, but if I just had this in this version only. And not only that, it cost me more to make it up them all in the same, because then I couldn't use up scraps and stuff. So yeah, just think about that. Don't think that because you've got a craft stall, everything's got to be exactly the same on it, because that's not the case. People would come up and they might even buy more than one. Imagine if every single one was yellow and blue with daisies on it. You know, you're not going to sell, most people are going to only want one for their own home or whatever, or one for a gift, whereas if you had one that was a, you know, a blue and a yellow and a green, they might think, oh, I'll have one of those for the kitchen. Oh, that'd look nice in my office, that'd look nice in my bedroom. So don't just fill your craft store with identical things, because it backfires. Right, so these are really well stuck on, and all I've done is I've used 2 glue dots on the other side of that and a dimensional on the little clippy bit. So I'm just going to do that again. I haven't even got one out yet. I love these clips. I love the clips, and I love the other ones as well. I use them on all sorts. The other gold ones. They're really handy. They make great closures for things. If you're making like gift bags and stuff, they make them look really nice, and they close really well. They fasten really well. I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots for this. I haven't got my normal glue dot tool with me, so I'm just going to use my fingers and hope for the best. So yeah, if you put 2 or 3 on the back, I just put 2 on so I'm not here all day. And that dimensional, remember to peel the backing off your dimensional. I did one the other day and forgot to take the backing off, but it still stuck really well with the glue dots anyway. And then just think about where you're going to have that calendar. Oops. Pop it in. I'm just going to pop mine, I might just pop it up a little bit in there. I'm just going to press down with my bone folder just to make sure it's nicely stuck. Doesn't matter if it's under your sentiment or whatever. Like I say, you're doing what you can with what you've got. And I know as well from doing craft fairs that people do like projects that are made up using your bits that other people might throw away. A lot of people are very environmentally aware these days, especially younger people, I find. You know, so they don't like to see tons of waste. You can even make it a selling point. You know, you can use it as a sort of a promotional point if you wanted to say all our projects are made of waste from our other projects, or, you know, look how beautiful that is. That is such a lovely little gift for a teacher or for a colleague or something to stick on their desk. It's really nice. It doesn't have to be a calendar. It could be a little notepad. It could be anything you wanted. It could be like inspirational quotes of the day. It could be, you know, creative thought of the day or whatever for someone to write down. That's just lovely. I love that gold foil as well. It's really lovely. So, yeah. I hope you found that useful, and my little tips on craft fairs. That's the calendar I took from there. And, you know, it's so easy to make a bigger one. These, like I said, just got little... I've just doubled up the size, obviously, but the rest of it's exactly the same. And then the width, and then I've just added on little elements. I did this with, I used stitch shape framelets, and I just cut out the frame and then backed it with a piece of window sheet. This one's been stuck on with dimensionals. In fact, it isn't the dimensionals. I stuck it on using these edge pieces, so even they didn't go to waste. And that gave it a nice little dimension, which I enjoyed, which I liked. I did film myself making this one, but people that are in the same team as me with Stampin' Up, I showed them the invasion that happened. My puppy decided to get in on the act, and he just walked straight across and looked up at the camera halfway through. So I decided to abandon that idea. So yeah, hopefully that's some use to you, and you can use that idea. And, you know, they cost, like I said, you get 3 out of a piece of 12 by 12 if you're not using scraps. If you are using scraps, then they've cost literally pence. But even if you're not using scraps, they're still only costing you £1 or so. I think I costed up this one for myself because a few people have asked me for one of these, and I think this cost me £2, £2 to make, and that was including my time. So yeah, add your markup on that. Hope you found this useful, and this one actually that hasn't got the squidgy bit is a little bit more sturdy. When you do add the squidgy bit, all you do is you just get whatever your width of your card is by 3 inches, and you just score at 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, and then a 1/2 inch from the other end, and then you just do a mountain and valleys, and you just glue it into the back of your V shape. Very, very, very simple and easy. And like I say, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope that it's given you a little bit of inspiration. And if you do make some, please do, and you put them on Instagram, please hashtag #CraftLittleThingsUK so I can see what you've made. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.